Let's dig into technology as an enabler. I'd like to spend some time highlighting some key areas: lead generation and incubation, video content for listings, connecting to others in the ERA network to generate referrals, and leveraging platforms to make the customer service process for consumers that are moving feel a lot better. To do this, I would like to bring Frank Malpica, or VP of Strategic Growth, into the conversation. Frank, how are you doing today?
Hey, Rich, I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Tell us about some of the consumer insights you are tracking and what we are doing about them.
Absolutely. So first, I want to quote one of my favorite authors, a statistician and a professor, who is quoted as saying, "Without data, you're just another person with an opinion." And I want to stick with that for a second and talk about the data of our industry, what I like to call the leads landscape. Think about 2, 12, 35, 57, and 90. 2% of online leads on average convert, as opposed to 90% of past clients, when surveyed, said, "Yeah, I would work with my agent again." What's fascinating is that as an industry, we spend a disproportionate amount of time chasing new internet leads. The good news is that as a brand, as your brand and as Realogy, we're focused on helping you be more successful in each of these categories. We're going to talk today about generating more high quality leads, not just more leads. We're going to talk a little bit about Ojo, a new artificial intelligence that you've heard some about, and we're going to get a little bit deeper into it today, as well as when we're going to roll out to you. The affinity relationships, if you've been following some of the trades, you've heard the recent announcement with AARP, Amazon last year, and all of the amazing work that our friends at Cardis are doing. 57% referrals. We're going to give you a platform that's going to help you track, monitor, and measure your referrals better than you ever have in the past. That last statistic up on the screen that we saw, 90% of clients would work with their broker or agent again. But in reality, unfortunately, only 12% do. I want to unpack that data a little bit more because there's a lot of opportunity here. In reality, if you can increase your client retention by just 5%, you can actually increase your profitability by 75%. Now, Rich, I want to repeat that one more time. If you increase your client retention by 5%, it has a 75% impact on your profitability. And that's because it's more cost effective. It's easier to capture and convert more business from the people that you are already familiar with than buying, incubating, building relationships with new leads. It's kind of intuitive.
Frank, there's a startling stat out there that 2/3 of agents don't generate any referrals. And we already know how poor these numbers are for the repeat business.
You're absolutely correct. That's why our strategy focuses on generating more high quality leads and helping agents earn more business from the business that they've already earned. We're going to talk about two basic activities over the course of the next few minutes. Task management, which is incredibly important things that have to happen to drive the business forward, and profit generation. Task management, by and large, are things that we can automate with technology. Profit generation, things like finding more buyers and sellers, building great relationships, and fortifying your position as a local expert. This is the highest and best use of an agent's time, not copywriting, graphic design, or social media marketing or digital marketing in most cases. So if you're keeping score at home, the theme of our day is automate, simplify.
Frank, I love that. Let's go back to the idea that consumer behavior has changed. I was amazed at some of the stats that you walked me through. We know most people start the search online. What I didn't know is that 78% of the people use their mobile phone throughout the process when searching for a home. 75% of consumers drive the neighborhood to preview homes and then typically search with Google or Siri to find the home online, not reaching out via the contact info on the yard sign. For those consumers who do make phone calls, 57% of the time they hit a voicemail. Frank, does that mean we're missing out on 43% of the opportunities to immediately connect with a consumer that has taken the time to drive by one of our listings?
Spoiler alert, I would say it's actually worse, right? The idea that a consumer is leaving a voicemail and sitting there waiting for their agent to respond is highly unlikely. But it's one of the key reasons why we've rolled out Text ERA, our number one lead generation product. What we know, Rich, is that 97% of text messages are open and read. And that's because texting is the number one activity that people do with their phones. And these leads, 60% of them are converting to a showing. And to put that in scale, We've generated more leads through text ERA than Zillow and Trulia combined for the entire ERA network, and we are quickly approaching Realtor.com. You can ask companies like Napier ERA, who took advantage of the interactive voice responder that we launched last year. They're generating 3 times more leads than everybody else in the network that's just taking advantage of the base program. So I'm not sure why more of you aren't. Or ERA King Real Estate, who realized the value of integrating text ERA into other types of marketing activities. And I had the privilege of listening to their new radio campaign that leverages the power of text ERA. So to automate and simplify things further, Rich, and based on a lot of customer feedback, we're launching the new home kits, integrating text ERA directly into property flyers and postcards, saving you time. So again, you can focus on profit generating activities.
I love this, Frank. Let's talk a little bit more about how to leverage this technology once we have the listing. Frank, do you know that video is the #1 most valuable asset online? Viewers retain 95% of a message when they watch it in a video compared to only 10% when they read it in text. What's really crazy, when you think about these two stats about video, National Association of Realtors says that 85% of active listings don't have a video. Sounds like another lost opportunity.
Yeah, or a huge opportunity for someone that has a brand standing behind them, focused on the details that matter. And we've automated this process as well. We've provided, for the last couple of years, our automated video service through the Social Boost platform. All we ask you to do is connect your social profiles. And we're releasing this year our new 2.0 platform with all new agent cameos, video frames, and animation built directly into the video to make everything that much more engaging so that you're visible and valuable online and you're generating more of these high quality leads. And our goal this year is to crush the exposure that we had in 2019. We had almost 200 million views on platforms like Facebook and YouTube, Zillow, Instagram, and others. I looked it up, Rich. That's the equivalent of 3 Super Bowl commercials.
Frank, I love this video platform and the success our ERA agents are having with it. Let's go back and talk about how we convert past clients into new leads. When asked, consumers and realtors alike identified reputation as being the #1 most important factor in deciding who to work with. 85% of consumers trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations. So if you're going to market with reviews, why not to the 2.5 billion consumers on Facebook, 2 billion consumers on YouTube, and 1 billion consumers on Instagram?
Rich, I couldn't agree with you more. We've said multiple times, it's social distancing, not social disconnection. Our new automated testimonial product combines the power of online reviews and social media. When we looked at the data, we saw that ERA nationwide has a 98% customer satisfaction and recommendation rate, which is fantastic, which makes the numbers that ERA Sunrise Realty with David Moody and his team at 99% customer satisfaction that much more amazing. And it's no surprise that David and his team were the Jim Jackson Award winners this year. And another congratulations to him and the team for doing just that. But he didn't do it alone. He has some amazing agents at ERA Sunrise Realty. Some of the folks that you can see up on the screen here, including Maria Sims from the Maria Sims team, the winner of the top all-around team for Jim Jackson. So congratulations to Maria and her team. A really simple pro tip, when I asked David, how do you leverage these testimonials? He says, I have my agents call their clients and let them know that you just received a survey in the mail. Would you please respond to that for me? And by the way, while I have you on the phone, do you know anybody that would benefit from my business? Right? So just another opportunity to make a connection and ask for the business.
Frank, we have some great programs that feed us leads. How are we helping people incubate and ultimately convert those leads?
That's a great question, Rich, and something that I am exceptionally excited about. I mentioned earlier the new artificial intelligence Ojo that our network and Realogy will have access to, starting to roll out towards the end of June. What I want everybody to understand is exactly how Ojo works. It has the ability to intercept a lead, and that can do that online, or it can do that with text ERA or the video products that we were talking about earlier. Then what it does is it starts to ask qualifying questions about the consumer, trying to gauge what types of homes are they actually interested in. Is there a specific commute that they're looking for? What types of cultural areas do they want to be around? What type of style of the home is it you're looking for in your kitchen, your bedrooms, your living room? Really, truly trying to learn more effectively about what the consumer wants. And then serving them more images of more properties that are live in the MLS that fit what they're actually looking for. At which point it'll transfer it over to our call center. So you get that blended approach of high tech and high touch so that the call center person can further warm up the relationship up to at which point when we know that consumer is ready to transact, I can pass it back over, Rich, to you as the agent now ready to take it across the finish line. So really exciting new technology.
Frank, sounds like we've made a lot of progress with the Ojo relationship since we first announced it at RGX last year. I think there's a lot that's coming that's going to be really good for the ERA network. You know, you mentioned David Moody of ERA Sunrise a few moments ago. I had an opportunity to watch his conversation last week with Scott Oakley of Move Guru, the engine behind ERA Moves. I'd like to dig into this program a bit more. A survey of people buying and selling homes was recently conducted, and most of them said the move itself was the number one most stressful part of the process. Americans move an average of 6 times throughout their lives. Most people spend an average of $10,200 on expenses related to the move. If the move itself is a deterrent to transact, can we make the process easier for consumers and provide a better customer service experience?
Rich, I completely get all of that because I don't know about you, but I absolutely hate moving. And above and beyond the simplicity and automation that the product provides, it also helps save money. We've saved the 55,000 families that we've helped move from their existing home to their new home just over the course of the last 10 months, over $5 million. And we've only implemented 50% of the ERA network. So if you're hearing this at home and thinking, I have no idea what this program is, that means you need to get the leverage or you need to talk to your broker and figure out how you can be taking advantage of this. You can ask Eddie Wilder from ERA Wilder Realty. They leverage this program to increase their data capture of phone numbers and email addresses of their clients by over 60%. Rich, that's the type of data that we need and that ultimately our brokers and agents want to help better market to their clients.
Frank, speaking of marketing better to clients, do you know that 90% of consumers say they'll work with an agent again, but only 12% actually do? And NAR says that each client should be good for 3 to 4 referrals each year for the first 3 years after the transaction. On average, people live in their homes for a long time, and the experts saw that it might get even longer based on generation. Prior to the 2008 recession, people stayed in their homes for 5 to 7 years. That increased to 8 to 10 years over the past decade. And there's now research that's suggesting millennials may stay in their home for 15 years. What's the best way, Frank, to stay in touch with past clients and deliver meaningful content?
I can tell you what you don't want to do, and that's have to spend a tremendous amount of time, money, and effort around thinking through the process and manually doing it yourself, which is why, as a brand, we also provide for you a completely automated product to follow up with your buyers and your sellers, clients. And in the past 12 months, we've sent out almost 500,000 touch points through this program. Based on your feedback, we've extended the program at no additional cost. So now we'll continue keeping you valuable and visible in front of your clients throughout home ownership and for the life of the relationship with your clients. A company that's really taking advantage of this program is ERA Brokers Consolidated. Rich, they've opted in 100% of all of their buyers and over 70% of their sellers because they get the benefit of staying valuable and visible with their clients to help generate more referral business.
That is awesome, Frank. I talked about the power of size and scale of our network in the opening of this discussion. I mentioned that ERA is now in 35 countries with over 35,000 agents internationally. What are we doing to leverage the size and scale of this brand globally with our agents to generate referrals within the network?
Absolutely, Rich. So first of all, I love this hashtag ERA Global Domination. If I was an agent or a broker, I would get online right now and start hashtagging this because we do have a tremendous opportunity to really operationalize that global presence that we have and generate more business because of it. I looked it up and 12 to 13% of all real estate transactions in the US are from out-of-country buyers. That's almost 630,000 transactions that I'm sure everyone that's watching at home would want a piece of. 41% of those folks were all cash buyers. Really doesn't get a lot better than that. For our agents that have been leveraging the size and scale that ERA has internationally on their listing presentations to win more clients, they now have the opportunity to generate referrals, track, monitor, and measure, and receive referral fees all through this platform to make everything as simple as possible. And if they're worried about, so how do I communicate with our affiliates around the globe? Rich's platform translates into 18 languages, and it does all that currency conversion for our brokers and for our agents. And we're rolling this platform out over the course of the next few weeks. So watch for the emails. At the end of the day, Rich, in conjunction with our partners at Realogy, we are acutely focused on generating more high quality leads. We're going to automate at every opportunity to ensure that our agents can focus their energy on profit generating activities, not managing tasks, building relationships, being visible and more in front of more buyers and sellers, and importantly, helping you earn more business from the business that you've already earned. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed this afternoon. And Rich, I appreciate you having me here today.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you, everyone. We wish you health, safety, and much success this year. And make sure to use these great tools that are all available to you.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Here to announce this year's Gene Francis Memorial Award for Top All-Around Company, please welcome back ERA's President and CEO, Sherry Chris.
The big moment has finally arrived. It's time to announce the Gene Francis